There we go. And yes, there's a bit of water left in there. Whew, that's a bit more than I thought it'd be. Good. Always nice to catch these moments on camera. Hello and welcome to this DIY Friday video. In this video we're going to be continuing with our kitchen project. So we're going to be removing the last of the old kitchen from this first phase. I've kept this in for a while because we use the sink and the cupboard quite a bit, but now that's going. So the kitchen at this end will be all gone. That sink's coming out and there's no sink going back in its place. So I need to mess around with the plumbing under there to make sure I keep the supply onto the outside tap, and also I just want to keep a hot water supply under there as well. Just for the future, you never know, do you? Also got to sort out some of the drainage under there as well, so I need to put in a new pipe, and the kitchen is arriving really soon, so I've got a bit of a gird on to try and get this end of the kitchen ready to start putting the cupboards in actually, which is really exciting. Mrs R might be painting the ceiling while we're at it. We had that plastered, which looks great. One of the jobs that I definitely would not undertake, plastering a ceiling, because that is just not my bag and I'm no good at it, having tried it. But yeah, there's a lot going to be happening. So we'll get under the sink there, have a look at the old pipe work and see what needs doing. Okay, so we've got fairly tidy pipe work under here. It's not too bad actually. But obviously this is mostly going to have to come out. So we'll get this shelf out of the way for starters. Like that. So we can see what we're doing. Get rid of all the deceased fauna out of there as well, all the dead spiders, which is exciting. So what have we got under here? We've got hot pipe coming in down here, so I'll just bring that around so you can see what I'm looking at. So hot pipe there, that's the hot supply. So that's just going to get capped off with an isolating valve. I don't want to remove the supply into here completely, and I want to make it easy to access in the future, so that's going to be that there. So that's the hot supply coming in. It's got a drainage spigot there, which is super helpful, so I'll be able to use that, which is great. And then around this side, again, not sure quite how well you can see there, similarly we've got the cold pipe coming in, and then we've got the feed out to a outside tap there. Now that I very much want to keep doing its thing, so I'm going to have to sort of have a little shuffle around with this so that I can keep the supply onto that, and also the cold feed into the garage now where I've got the washing machine. So yeah, there's a bit to do. I need to kind of connect that pipe to that pipe and leave that connection on. So I've got a couple of ideas, and it's one of those things that until you start it, you never really know exactly how you're going to do it. But I've got a couple of ideas for doing that. And then this drainage section here is going to be coming out, so that needs removing. But I do need to put a waste pipe from here going through the wall. Well, not going through the wall, no, actually it's going to stay this side, and I'll just take the drain out to the garage so that the waste from the washing machine can come back through here and into the floor down there, into the soil and vent pipe. So yeah, we'll see what that looks like. So I think the first thing to do is to start removing a bit of the furniture from around here so I can get under there and access it. One of the favourite things I like to see, of course, as an electrician is the old supplementary bonding there. Completely pointless, no real need for that at all. You can even see it. They've taken it to the kitchen sink as well, which is not necessary, and it isn't really doing anything of value. So yeah, it'll be good to see the back of that as well. Again, you'll never see me doing the electrical work on this channel. This is for my DIY stuff at the minute, and of course all the electrical science and other bits and bobs that I do as well. This is more just the fun hobby side of my life. But for seeing the electrical stuff that I do, then obviously head over to our YouTube channel eFix, where you'll see me talking in technical detail about things like bonding and stuff like that, which is deeply interesting. So let's start getting some of this kitchen removed. Okay, so that's the system drained down. So let's start taking out this old waste. Now this is going to be absolutely bogging under here. You've got all that waste. A lot of the gunge will have connected in this U-bend, so this probably isn't going to be pleasant, but if I take that bit off and then that bit off, hopefully I'll minimise my contact with that. Hang on. Yep, no, that needs to go the other way. Does it? Hang on. Okay. That's a bit stiff. Yeah, look at that. Look at that hanging down. Gross. Right. Cool, that's really on there. Just trying to think, so I didn't do it that way, so I need to go that way. Get that off, there it goes. Just needs a bit of conviction. There we go. Right. So that is that out of the way. There we go. Yes, the gunge has come all the way up. Oh dear, no, spilling it everywhere. Right, cool. I'm gonna dispose of that safely. Okay, so now that's off and the nasty smells are coming up from the drains, I'll just undock here and show you what this looks like. If you look under there, you can see that's where the waste pipe kind of goes down through the floor. And because there's no U-bend on there anymore, there's really nasty smells coming out from there, from the drains. So I'm going to take this out completely and then work pretty quickly so we don't fill the house up with disgusting smells. So hopefully this should just pop out of there now. This is one of those moments where I say that and it absolutely doesn't. Let's see. Okay, nope. That's going to require a little bit more work. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that pipe down there and then take all the kitchen out so that hopefully I can pull it out once that unit's been removed. So I'll do that now. Okay, so let's get under there and get that off. Okay, right. It's going to be the easiest way. Can I get behind you? There we go. Right, I'm going to cut that off about there. It's amazing how unstraight you cut and you can't actually see what you're doing. Right, and then that should just, come out of there. Happy days. Whew, and the smells coming out of this remind me why I'm glad I did not become a plumber, because that is pretty nasty. Right, get that put down there, get that chucked away, retrieve my junior hacksaw. Cool, and we're ready to start sorting out this here plumbing, which is good. So let's just redock with the tripod. Okay, and now we're ready to start doing something with these pipes. Happy days. Okay, so we'll get the pipe cutter on there now. Get that tightened up. I just want to be careful I'm not sitting on that soldered joint there. There's not actually a lot of space between the joint and the cupboard, so we'll try it there. Get it tight on there and then just give it a spin. Tighten up again. Let's give it a couple of turns. There we go. There we go. It's going. It's going. Carving off the MDF off the back, all that cheap, nasty old MDF. There we go. Nearly there. Change hands so you don't loosen it instead of tightening it. And again. There you go, I can see that's starting to cut in now. There we go. And yes, there's a bit of water that's been there. Could have Whew, that's a bit more than I thought it'd be. Same as though that stopcock didn't work. Well, I was not expecting that. There we go. Whew. Right, good. Okay, well, That's the that's that off. Good. Always nice to catch these moments on camera. Whew, yeah, that was quite a bit more water than I thought it would be. Not a problem. Right, good. Okay, so we'll tidy that up. That's not really leaking anymore. So. Okay, so the system hasn't drained down quite as thoroughly as I thought it had, and my bucket's filling up pretty quick. So I'm going to get this isolating valve stuck on here pretty quick. So yeah, we're going to do that in a rush. Normally, I'd like to do a bit of cleaning up on the pipe there with a bit of wire wool. No, and I've got some wire wool, so unfortunately my OCD won't let me not do that. So we'll sacrifice this piece for the cause, because I think that's going to get a touch rusty now. There we go, that's about that. There we go. Alright, so that's one rusty piece of steel wool. It's not going to be much good for much longer. Okay, just get my direction of flow right the first time. Made that mistake last time, so just get that on. Now the reason I'm not just capping this off and putting a stop end on here is that I am just a little, I really like to be cautious with stuff like this, and I don't know, I think at some point I might want to put another one of these on somewhere. So the valve's open, so I don't have a problem with water spraying around. There we go, let's get that on there. And get the spanners on that and get it done up nice and tight. There we go. There we go. Alright, there we go. And there we go. There. There we go. Get that on there. Hopefully that's nice and tight. And then, even more hopefully, shut that off. There we go. Good stuff. I'll just keep an eye on that for a few minutes, make sure it's not leaking. That feels pretty solid. Whew, there we go. Right, so that's that. That was not as slick as I would have liked, and it's always good when this happens on camera. But there we go, this is real life. Try not to disguise what I'm doing here. If something goes wrong, it goes wrong. And that was still a bit full of water. So let's move on to the cold pipe and hope we get not similar results to what just happened. Okay, so I'm slightly more confident this time that everything's drained down. That's open. I've got this little isolation valve up here. So there might be a tiny little bit left in there. I've undone that stopcock, but again, I'm just not convinced that is doing what it should be doing, so we'll find out anyway. Okay, so let's get the pipe cutter back on. Again, just making sure that it's not sitting on that soldered joint there. That's going to throw things off. Should be alright. So we're going to crank that up. This is soaking wet from last time, so I think this is going to give me some problems, but we'll see how we go. There we go. Yeah, that's not too bad. I can get a grip on that one. There we go. That going round. And we're nearly there. There we go. Coming on. It's actually amazing how much the pipe retains its integrity. I mean, it didn't take much more spinning on that last one after the water started gushing out, just to get it finished cutting. There we go. A little bit of leakage there, but not too much. That's what the hot pipe should have looked like. There we go. There we go. No panicking on this one. So this is good. So we should be able to get the water back on pretty soon, actually, hopefully, which is pretty cool. Right. Just thinking about all of this kind of mess up here, really. Where's the best place to attack this from to remove it? I'm going to take it off there, I think. just let that hang down for now. Okay, so let's see if that's, yeah, that's good. Happy days. I've got a bit of a plan for this, but might need to just nab a couple of the bits from off here. Right, there we go. That's that off, that's good. Okay, so in theory, we can whip the sink out, put that one back on in a bit more leisurely fashion, and then see if we can get this doing what I need it to. Happy days. Okay, so now the plumbing's undone, I'm in a position where hopefully I can get the sink out. So it's just a matter of undoing these little clips here, and it's all sealed up around the top, so it might need a little bit of persuasion to give, but we'll see. Nice to see the unnecessary bonding cable here. It is doing nothing. There we go, so just getting these undone. And somebody's used a handy proprietary fixing screw to connect that bonding cable. So it's unnecessary bonding, badly connected, but still, at least someone was trying to be thorough, which is good, I guess. Okay, so that's those ones out. I'll just take the ones out from under the sink and then hopefully this will just lift out. Okay, so this is all undone. It's still silicone down. I don't think I'll be able to get my blade under there with a stanny or anything, so I'm just going to see if I can get it to, if I can just get it started. There we go. Sorry if I bumped the mic there. There we go. And that should, yeah, there it goes. That's it, happy days. There we go, sink out. Wow, that's all good. Let's mind the pipes and the unnecessary supplementary bonding. There we go. There we go. Whew. Okay, that's exciting. That's the top out, and now I'll be able to get down there and hopefully, yeah, access that pipe work a little bit better. I'll probably be able to do it a lot better actually. Let's bring the camera over and have a look. Okay, so I've just been kind of, not stressing, but kind of debating the best way of doing this, because what I wanted to do was put another isolating valve on there, so that when the new kitchen goes in, if I ever need to adjust anything, I can just turn those off and we're ready to go. But as we've clearly seen, this hot kind of pipe is a lot harder to drain down than the cold. The cold drains down really easily. Because I'm sort of looking at this and thinking, right, okay, I still need to keep this check valve on here for the outside tap. I need to keep this on. How's that going to sit? I did get a longer hose to go on here as well, but it's not quite got the right attachments on the end. I couldn't see that one clearly when I was looking at it, and I thought it was the same as this end, but it's not. So I can't use the one I've got. So I'm thinking, why not just do that? I think that's all right, isn't it? I'm not crazy about how much this kind of protrudes into the cupboard here, but this is going to kind of be where all our tall stuff goes. So I'm sure the mops and the hoover and everything will fit in around it. So yeah, I think that might actually just be the easiest option. I was kind of thinking about messing around with a kind of a right angle bend and stuff to try and get this a little bit more tidy and out of the way, but I think I'm just overthinking it really. I think I'm just going to bung it on there, and I'll spin that round so that that's pointing downwards, and that can then be effectively my drain point. And if I ever do need to adjust anything in here, it's a lot easier to drain down than the hot is. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do actually. I think I'm going to just volley that on there. So if there's any plumbers or better people at this than me, please feel free to comment below and tell me if there's something wrong with that, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. I've got a drain point, I've got a check valve there, and I've got the outside tap connection. So I think that's going to be okay. I might replace this hose at some point anyway, because it's getting a bit frayed and there's some sharp bits sticking out there that I don't want people catching themselves on. Or I might just put a cover over it or something. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep it simple. Right, so I'm going to get this cupboard out, and then yeah, we'll put this plumbing back, put the drain in, and that's this job just about done. Dare I say it, it's going well so far. Okay, so let's have a look at what got going on here. So just got a few screws to undo to get this out. So we're going for the worktop as the next thing. Try and get this out. So it's got a couple of brackets on the sides here. And then get that out before it's lost. There you go. And that's that one off. And then we've just got another couple under here. Out now. There we go. Out now. There we go. And now hopefully all of this should just come away. It's still held on down there with the silicone, but I reckon I can overcome that. Right, so that should now be loose. Yeah, there we go. And hopefully, with a little bit of persuasion, there we go. That's that out. That dump down there. There we go. That's the worktop gone. Now, my one really bad habit when I'm doing jobs like this is letting all the rubbish pile up and then having to do a giant tip run, and I don't really like going to the tip. So look at that. I don't think that was fixed in at all. That's terrible. Not fixed at the back at all. I think it was just fixed down this edge to the wall. That's not good, is it? There we go. Get that out. See where various dishwashers and things have leaked over the years, which is not so good. And now it's just a matter of getting this out. And it's, yeah, that's it. It's coming. I just got to get it over the pipe work. And we're out of here. Wow, there we go. There we go. Except that that isn't going to go through there. Mind you, I want to adjust that anyway. Keep on thinking I should get a small pair of pipe grips. Nah. There we go, right, so just get that on there a little bit. And then get that on there a little bit. And that should. There we go. Appliance valve off there. And then it should just slide out nice and easy. There we go. Right, okay, so that is this end of the kitchen removed. Okay, so we'll just clean this pipe up now. Got all that base unit out. And got rid of all the wall tiles. I've cut away a bit of the lino down here as well, you'll see in a minute, just to make life a little bit easier. So yeah, that drain absolutely stinks. I'm looking forward to getting that sorted out. If I get this done, I can get the water back on, and then I'll make things a bit better. There we go. Right. Okay, so that's that cleaned up. Pop that back nut on, nut olive, and then we'll pop that on. I want that pointing downwards so it can also act like a drain if I need it to. Crank that up onto there, and then get that nice and tight. Just grab my spanner. Probably hear the kids in the background bouncing the ball all over the place while I'm filming, which is fine. And yeah, right, so I'll just get this onto here, my slightly undersized pipe grips there, and get this done up nice and tight on here. There we go. There we go. There we go. I'll do that. And then hopefully it's just a matter of bringing this round and volleying it into there. There we go. Now the benefit to this, of course, is that I can take this off as well when the when I need to put the new kitchen in, because I don't want to cut out a massive slot out the back. I'd rather just cut out some little holes, so I'll be able to do that, which is good. Just crank that up. And again, better just hold this so that I'm not putting any strain on that back connection. Would also be great. Remember which way up to do that. No, there we go. That feels good. That feels tight. Right, I think that is that. Good to go. So yeah, we'll put the water back on and see if there's any drips after I put the bucket back in place. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully that'll be okay. Right, let's do that then. Okay, so the water's back on, and I think that is all good. That all feels nice and dry. Can't see any drips anywhere, which is good. There we go. I think we've done it, which is really cool. Which is really cool. And in theory, if I open that up, that should. Yep. There it is. So that's cool. That's good. Brilliant. Happy days. Right, time to get this drain sorted next. Okay, so we're going to get this drain in next. So I think I've got all the bits and bobs I need. So let's make a start. So hopefully this will come out a little bit easier now. Yeah, there we go. Right, so that's the old pipe out. That's good. Got the new bit in here that I'm going to pop in there. So that's going to sit in there nicely, like so. And then I'm just going to take a pipe across here and volley it into this piece. This is kind of a bit temporary actually, because when I start putting this unit in, I might need to sort of change this round a little bit. So this is just to get us on the move really, and just make sure there's a little bit of a fall on that. I think that'll be okay. Right, so that's going to sit over in that corner. So if we just measure from the inside of there to the inside of there, what we got there? 765 mil. So bring the pipe in. 765 mil. It's going to go there. Get that nice and square. Just looking at that bit of pipe that's come out of there and looking at the sort of jaunty angle that it's cut at, I'm thinking that may be a bit of a requirement here that I wasn't aware of. So I think what I'll do is at some point in the future, because I don't have the right connection to connect my pipe onto this now, so what I'll do at some point is I'll replace that for another one of those, I think, and then yeah, volley a bit of a longer pipe with that kind of chamfered edge on it. I guess that's to just send the water in the right direction initially, so I might just hang on to that and yeah, use that as a bit of a model. I think that'll be quite useful. So again, if there's any problems in the comments, please let me know if that's necessary or not, because if it's not, that would be great. Okay, so right, we've got this cut. Just clean that end up. Just clean that end up there. That's good. You just got to be careful when you're buying pipe to go into compression joints like this, or if you're using solvent, because push fit pipes are just ever such a slightly different size, but it's enough that it won't work on push fit, and push fit pipe won't work on this kind of connection, so, or a solvent connection, a welded connection. So that's just something worth looking out for. Right, so we'll get that cranked up onto there, and then get that into there. There we go. It's interesting about that chamfered pipe. I'm going to look into that because I want to know if I need to change that. So watch out for a future video just in case I do. It was great when I was working at the local college, because I could have just wandered down to speak to one of the plumbing lecturers, and they'd have been able to tell me about that in seconds. They probably would have taken hours to tell me about it, but they could have told me in seconds. That's the plumbers there, I've got on well with them. Right, so that's that. Now looking at this at the minute, there's absolutely no hint of a fall on this, I don't think, so I'm just going to kind of prop that up a little bit to create a little bit of a fall. So just for the time being, we'll volley that under there to do that. And that just has created just a little bit of a fall on that to help that go in the right direction. Okay, so that's there. Probably going to have to cut this down, I think, when I put the kitchen cupboard in, because that's going to come up. I'm going to need it to come up inside the cupboard, so this may just need a little bit of tweaking. But this gets me to where I need to be to get started. So let's go and get the connection for the washing machine. Okay, so we'll just move the camera around a bit so we can see what we're doing. So this is the washing machine kind of outlet, which I rescued off its previous position where it used to be. I've put a cap on the other side, and this is just going to go in here now, just to create that U-bend that will stop all the nasty smells coming in. So we'll get this in, and then hopefully this hose here will be long enough to do what I need it to do. There we go. And then yeah, just get that hooked up. Like I say, once I've got the kitchen going in, I'll know where that I actually need this to sit, and the height of the cupboards and everything, to make sure that it goes in the right place. I'll probably need to trim this down a little bit to bring it all into the cupboard, maybe make that a bit longer. There's tweaks to be done, so this is just temporary, which is why I'm not clipping it down to the floor or anything like that at the minute. And just depending on how sturdy this is, I might just whack a couple of screws in there just to hold it in place. But failing that, we are somewhere close to being done. So if I get my thing and clip it on here like this, should be at just about the right height, I'm hoping. Maybe it needs to be a little bit higher, I think. There we go. Could do with a slightly longer hose on this, but couldn't change it on the washing machine. There we go, that's in there. Okay, don't think that's putting too much strain on everything. Just a couple of clips in the wall and then in the cupboard as it'll be eventually. And that is something like good to go. Just make sure these are all nice and tight. I don't want this washing machine liquid leaking out. Having cleaned out the old trap here, it's absolutely disgusting. And a good reminder as to why I'm not a plumber. There we go, that looks pretty good to me. And no doubt all the plumbers watching are aghast at something that I've done, so if you are, please mention it in the comments, perhaps kindly, would be nice. Just hook up the inlet tap, and that's it for the hose. Fantastic. So there we go, that's this little bit, next stage of the kitchen done, and we can start thinking about volleying some cupboards in, which is very, very exciting indeed. All that remains is to say, thank you very much for watching.